Time for another update on the Aztecs here on a Monday as we will take a look at what happened with men's basketball, with baseball, softball, and women's basketball. And of course, got to start with the men's basketball program. We talked a lot about it on the show earlier in the week, but Aztecs fell to Colorado State 83-74 in Fort Collins. They snapped a strong road performance streak. Key takeaway, Aztecs press defense struggled early. Colorado State's 13 three-pointers and 29 free throws were too much to overcome. Bench continued to shine. They outscored Colorado State's bench 27-8. The 22nd time this season, the Aztecs bench has outscored the opponent. But the problem was losing on the road to Colorado State. Mark Ziegler had in his article about where the team is right now with ongoing conversations about where they're going to play next year and everything like that. A lot of distractions for a team that saw their chances of making it as an at-large bid go from 65% to now 27%, as according to the latest metrics.
Yeah, this was truly a devastating loss for San Diego State as far as the championship window is concerned for them. I mean, they have to win the conference tournament now. There's really no other way in. But in order to even consider winning the championship, the conference tournament, you have to really buckle down against Utah State later this week. And then you've got Boise State, you've got New Mexico as well. I mean, that is a rough go of it you've put yourself in.
They're still on the bubble, but they're on the bubble out. Their resume is now out of the top 50, which is not great in terms of making the tournament as an at-large. We said 2-1 against those next three opponents, and you got a good chance. That was assuming that you beat Colorado State and take care of business against Grand Canyon. Now, you got to go a perfect 3-0 against Boise State, New Mexico, on the road. They're both quad one games, and then at home against Utah State, also a quad one game. The tournament committee looks at quad one wins, and the Aztecs right now have one, and they need more than that if they want to make the NCAA tournament outright. Otherwise, they're going to have to get hot in Vegas. Now, the good news is for the Aztecs in terms of trying to win the regular season outright, they still could do that. Utah State lost over the weekend. So you're getting a Utah State team that lost over the weekend, limping in here to Viejas Arena. You really got to bring your A game against the Aggies if you want to even consider being in that position, as well as trying to win a share of the Mountain West Conference at the end of the regular season. But this is an Aztec formula that has been strong defensively and bench scoring, but they have now lost back-to-back games, and that rarely happens under Coach Dutcher. So hopefully they can bounce back and beat Utah State on Wednesday. Now, men's baseball, early season highlights. Rohan Latau named Mountain West Pitcher of the Week after a 3-0 shutout against BYU on Friday, struck out 10. Aztecs did stumble in the Tony Gwynn legacy against USD. They lost 15-4 after the Toreros got off to a hot start. And they got an upcoming challenge. I mean, they got to go up to UCLA on Tuesday, number 1 of the country. And then they will go up to the Pacific Northwest to take on Washington. Tough weekend for the Aztecs. They did beat BYU, had a tough time against Utah, and then USD really exposed the lack of pitching depth for the Aztecs.
Yeah, I think it was, 11-0 in like the second inning or so.
11-0 after 2.5 innings.
Yeah, so USD really put it on them in that last game. But for San Diego State, new head coach, we're trying to figure out different ways of doing things. We're trying to find our standing, as it were, not just with the Mountain West, but with ourselves as well. So you can kind of see the iffy start in there, but there's still a lot of time left in this baseball season.
They handled Long Island pretty easily, and they ran into some tough competition. Irvine on a Tuesday, they're one of the best teams in Southern California to play in this Tony Gwynn Legacy tournament. Obviously, beating BYU was good out of the Power Four. Losing to Utah was tough because I watched that Utah team play in person, and they're not very good. But the thing is with Kevin Vance, he's a pitching guy, and he runs the pitching staff. And the biggest problem that the Aztecs had against USD was just throwing strikes. I mean, that's an it's not easy to fix sometimes, but it's a fixable problem. They had good stuff. They couldn't throw strikes. 12 free passes in the first 3 innings issued by Aztec pitching. And that is 9 walks and 3 hit batsmen, led to 11 runs. I mean, the Toreros got 11 runs on 5 hits. It's not even like they were just racking up the hits. They were being pesky in the box, and they weren't going to swing at crap. And when you play a team like USD that doesn't swing at garbage, you got to be able to throw strikes.
Yeah, and that is not a recipe to win games. That's also a lot of games, especially for college when you're used to playing a couple times a week. Play 3 games in 3 days. That's a lot for a college team to be able to handle.
The top half of that rotation for the Aztecs, really good. Then it starts running into some problems, as you see with what they have on Sundays and now maybe on Tuesdays. Women's basketball dominated the Mountain West. They continue to dominate the Mountain West. They have now clinched a share of the Mountain West regular season title. They're 22-4 overall, 16-1 in the Mountain West. But as talking with Chris Ello, as we did, they got to win the Mountain West tournament to get in. They don't have enough metric wise to get in as an at-large, which is very unfortunate. That the Mountain West and women's basketball is a one bid league.
Yeah, absolutely. Nala Williams leading the team offensively and in assists as well. Caitlin Hamilton continuing to shine, 6th player of the year candidate, balanced scoring and discipline, leading to a 68-59 win over Fresno State over the weekend to secure that 16-1 Mountain West record.
Yeah, they still have a chance to win it outright. If they win Wednesday at Boise State, they will win the regular season championship outright. Softball, mixed results at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. That is a tough tournament to be in. San Diego State split the weekend. They won 7-6 over Seattle, lost 5-0 to the number 2 team in the country, Texas Tech. Jade Ignacio earns Mountain West Player of the Week again. Kiana Pua excelled in relief. They will play the Torero Classic in San Diego, including matchups against USD, CSUN, Washington, and Kansas City. San Diego State's offense, very capable of big innings, but consistency against top-tier teams remains a question. But how will the Aztecs sustain momentum against ranked opponents in the Torero Classic? That will be interesting to see for you, for San Diego State softball. Not really worried about them. They're very well coached. They're a really good program. And the fact that your loss is to number 2 Texas Tech, can't be that upset about it.
No, absolutely not. But that does seem to be a growing trend throughout all of San Diego State athletics, except for the women's basketball side, is consistency, consistency, consistency.